Good morning, boys and girls. It's lovely to speak to you all. I really enjoyed speaking to those of you on the phone that I got through to the other day. I hope you're all okay. I hope you're enjoying your time with your families and managing to stay safe and enjoy the sunshine. I wish we were back in class, but unfortunately we're not, so I thought I'd do a couple of lessons for you just to keep you up to date. The lesson that we're going to do today is literacy and numeracy. And I'm going to be using this book here, which we've done before in class. It's by Dr Seuss. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. We did it before. Quite an old book, published in 1960. Okay, are we ready? Well, actually no, it was originally published in 1957. Okay, let's start. Can you see the book okay? One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. Black fish, blue fish, old fish, new fish. This one has a little star. This one has a little car. Say, what a lot of fish there are. Yes, some are red and some are blue, some are old and some are new. I'm going to stop there to refer to our learning intention, which is that we're going to be sorting words into rhyming families. So we just heard a few rhymes there. We heard some are blue, some are old, some are new. Blue and new. So let's put those up on the board just now. Blue and new. Now these two words rhyme because the sound at the end of the word is the same. It's an oo sound. How many other words can you think of that rhyme with blue and new? You might want to pause the video to have a think about it. And think about if the spelling is the same as well. I can think of one. I can think of grew. The plant grew in the garden, and that's got the same ending as new. It's EW. I can think of one that rhymes with blue with the same ending. Can you give me a clue? Are there other ways of writing oo words that don't end in EW or UE? Can you think of any? Have a little think and write down as many different ways that you can think of making the oo sound at the end of the word. So we've got blue, clue, new, grew. Here's one that's quite unusual. I put on my shoe. The ending of shoe is OE. The ending of blue is UE. The ending of new is EW. There are other ways of doing it as well. Let's move on with the book. Let's see if we can find any more rhyming families. Some are sad and some are glad, and some are very, very bad. Why are they sad and glad and bad? I do not know. Go ask your dad. How many words did you find there that rhymed with dad? Have a think. Some are sad and some are glad, and some are very, very bad. Why are they sad and glad and bad? I do not know. Go ask your dad. Now, if you're thinking of words that rhyme with dad, you'll find that they all end in AD. Not like these oo words, they'll all end in AD. Let's move on. Some are thin and some are fat. The fat one has a yellow hat. From there to here, from here to there, funny things are everywhere. Here are some who like to run. They run for fun in the hot, hot sun. There's another one. Un. How many un words can you think of? Pause the video and write down as many as you can. Time yourself, give yourself 2 minutes and write down as many words as you can think of that rhyme with run. Let's write a few down together just now. We already had fun, sun. What was the other one that we had in there? Run. Go through the alphabet and see which other ones you can think of. I can think of un. Well, this is quite interesting. I've thought of one that begins with d, but it doesn't have the same ending. It doesn't end in n. Can you think what word I'm talking about? I have done my work. Look at the ending for done. Can you think of any other words as well? Okay, let's move on with the story. Oh me, oh my, what a lot of funny things go by. Some have 2 feet, some have 4. Some have 6 feet and some have more. Where do they come from? I can't say, but I bet they've come a long, long way. Have a look at all the different creatures that shows on this page here. We've got all different types of feet. 2, 4, 6 and more. We see them come, we see them go. Some are fast and some are slow. Some are high and some are low. Not one of them is like another. Don't ask us why, go ask your mother. Here's a little aside for you. Fast, slow, high, low. What are the examples of? Fast, slow, high, low. They're telling you what the creatures are like, so what kind of word is that? It's an adjective. Remember, adjectives describe a noun. Say, look at his fingers. 1, 2, 3. How many fingers do I see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He has 11. 11. This is something new. I wish I had 11 too. Bump, bump, bump. Did you ever ride a wump? We have a wump with just 1 hump. But we know a man called Mr. Gump. Mr. Gump has a 7-hump wump. So if you like to go bump, bump, just jump on the hump of the wump of Gump. My goodness, that was a lot of rhymes in that one, wasn't there? All different words that end in the ump sound. So we heard jump, bump, Mr. Gump, which is obviously somebody's name, and a made-up creature, which is a wump. Dr. Seuss often had made-up words in his stories to try and make them rhyme as well. Can you think of any other words that have that sound as well? That's quite a hard one. There's not that many. I can only think of one, I think. See if you can work out which one I'm going to put. Lump. And if you wake up in a bad mood, you might find yourself in a bit of a grump. There you go. Oh, and who's the President of America? There's another one for you. Okay. Right, we've had a look at a few different rhymes there. We're actually going to move on to another learning intention because I wanted to get a little bit of maths into this as well. So, we've read a little bit of the story, 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish. I'll do a wee bit more tomorrow for you, but we're going to move on to a little bit of maths and we're going to be using the story for that. Now, our learning intention for this part of the lesson is that we're going to go over some of our multiplication strategies that we've done in class with the Glasgow count strategies. So, let's begin. Now, we'll start off with a nice easy one, I think. We heard about creatures that had different kinds of legs, didn't we? We had two legs, 4 legs, 6 legs, more legs. Let's imagine that we had a creature with 3 legs. Okay. I don't know what that creature might look like. Let me have a little look. It could maybe look like this. I'm not much of an artist, but there. 2. There. 3 legs. Now let's imagine that we had quite a few of those creatures, okay? Let's imagine that we had 6 of these creatures. Now what I want to know is how many legs would that be altogether? Let's have a think about some of our multiplication strategies. Well, the first thing we could do is we could use our cubes, couldn't we? So if it's got 3 legs, 1, 2, 3, we could use our cubes. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I don't have enough cubes, do I? 10, 11, 12, right, let's change it. We've not got 6 of these creatures, we've got 4. Not brought enough of these home, guys, sorry. So, just to reiterate, we've got 4 of these creatures, and the creatures have 3 legs, okay? 4 creatures with 3 legs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me show you them on their side so you can see that it's definitely 3. Okay, so this is using our concrete materials, it's using our cubes. We've got 4 lots of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. The first thing we could do is we could count them up. We could count them up in different ways. We could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Or if you're good at counting in threes, you could say 3, 6, 9, 12. There's another way you could do it as well. If you happen to know that 2 times 3 is 6, or 2 lots of 3 is 6, we've got one lot of 6 and another lot of 6. 6 and 6 is 12. Okay, so that was us using our cubes. We wouldn't use 10s and 1s for this one, I don't think. Have a think why we wouldn't use 10s and 1s. It might not be the best idea. We could use these, which we use at school sometimes, don't we? So let's try again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to have to get some more out of the jar. 10, 11, 12. Okay. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 lots of 3. 3, 6, 9, 12. Now that was using our concrete materials. Think about what else we have in the classroom that we could use. What else do we have in the classroom that might be a good thing to use? We've got our ducks, haven't we? And we've got other things as well, like, let me have a wee think. The ladybirds, all sorts of things in our maths trolley. Now that was using our concrete materials, but we might want to do pictures. I know some of you much prefer to do that, so I've drawn on the board what one of those little creatures looks like. I want to know how many feet 4 of them have, so I could draw 4 of them out. There we go. That's 1. I can't remember what they look like now. 2, 3, and 4. So I've drawn it out. This is the pictorial method using pictures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Or going back to counting in threes. 3, 6, 9, 12. Or like we talked about, doing it in sixes. 6, 12. Okay, now some of you don't like to draw the full picture out, and to be honest, if you wanted to save time, you wouldn't need to do that. You could draw something to represent the feet. So you could maybe just go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 3. 4 groups of 3. I already know that that's 12. Okay, so this is our pictorial method. Let's have a look at the abstract method using just the numbers. So we know that there are 4 monsters, each with 3 feet. That's going to be 4 times 3. It's going to be 3 4 times, isn't it? So we could do it as 3, 6, 9, 12. We could do it as 4 lots of 3. We could do 3, add 3, add 3, add 3. Couldn't we? There's another way we could do it as well. You know that we can reverse our times tables. So 4 times 3, 4 lots of 3, which looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. It's 4 lots of 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 lots of 3, but it's also 1, 2, 3 lots of 4, isn't it? 3 sets of 4. So we could also do it as 3 times 4. That would be 4, add 4, add 4. 4, 8, 12. Okay, that was a one chilly question. I think we could do a slightly harder one. Will we do one that's a little bit trickier? Let's have a look at this creature over here. We were looking at this creature, which is a wump. And can you remember how many humps it had? I had 7. So that's a little clue for you, the number 7. If one of these creatures, I maybe shouldn't, no, I will try and draw it out. I will draw it. If one of these creatures has 7 humps, it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll just draw its wee face here. Maybe some legs. Oh dear, it's a good job we're not doing an art lesson. Right, there it is, that's a wump. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 humps on it. I want to know how many humps would there be on, how many will we do? Will we do 4? on 4 of these creatures? 4 wumps. How many humps? You can pause the video for a little while and have a little think about how you're going to do that. It's okay. And have a little think about how you're going to do that. You can use things that you have in your house. You can use a board. You can use a bit of paper. You can use your fingers. You can use one of the strategies that we've just talked about. You can use your repeated addition. There's all different ways of doing it. Have a think how you'd like to do it, and then we'll talk through some of the different ways that we could do it. Okay, so just to show you the board again, this is what's on the board. Can you see that? Thanks. Okay. Right. Let's just use the board this time because I don't think I've brought enough things with me. Right, we'll use the pictures, okay? So we said 4 groups of 7, 4 lots of 7. So we could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's pretend that each of these circles represents or stands for one of the humps that's on that animal, okay? So we could do it this way. We could do it 4 lots of 7. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and you could count them individually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. The answer is 28. Of course, I'm not really focused on the answer, boys and girls. It's the strategy that's more important, as you know. You could do it that way. You might be quite good at counting up in 7s, and you might be able to say, well, that's 7, 14, 21, 28. I know we haven't really done the 7 times table, but we have done 1s, 2s and 3s and 4s, so you might already know that. Or maybe you only know the 2 times 7, and you happen to know that 2 lots of 7 is 14. I'll use a different colour pen so I don't confuse you. That's 1 lot of 7, 2 lots of 7, that's going to be 14. And another 2 lots of 7 is going to be another 14. Add it together, will give you 28. You could do it that way, couldn't you? Okay. Right, I think perhaps we'll do 1 more and then that'll be enough, okay? So, what number will we do this time? Oh, I want to use these counters because these are super, and we've not used the 10s and 1s. So let's really use our imagination here and pretend that we've got a creature that has 12 feet, okay? Let's see what that might look like. 12 feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, there we go. I don't know what this creature would be called. It's not very happy. You wouldn't be very happy either if you had 12 feet, would you? So we've got a creature that has 12 feet this time, and I want to know how many feet would 4 of these creatures have? Okay, so if there was, let me just rub this out because that's from the beginning of the lesson. If there was 4 of these creatures, how many feet would that be altogether? Now let's go back to our concrete materials here. You can see I don't have enough cubes to use these, so that's not going to work. But I can use the 100s, 10s and 1s markers. So that's 10, 11, 12. 10, 11, 12. How many creatures is that? If each creature has 12 feet, that's 1 creature, 2 creatures. Here's another one. 10, 11, 12. And finally, the 4th creature. Is that the right way around? 10. 10, 11, 12. Okay, so instead of having to draw out 4 of these, which would take a long time, or draw out 4 lots of 12 circles, I'm just going to use these. It's much quicker. Okay, and I can see here that I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, and I could go like this, 42, 44, 46, 48. Okay, that was maybe a little bit fast. Let's have a look again. 10, 20, 30, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48. Okay, it's 48. I didn't have to do it that way. I could have split it in half and said, well, I can see that that's 10, 20, 24, 10, 20, 24, 24 and 24 is 48. I could have done it that way. Let's have a look at the same problem using our tens and ones. Okay, so remember we've got these creatures over here that have got 12 feet. That's 10, 11, 12, 10, 11, 12, 10, 11, 12, 10, 11, 12. Okay, this is maybe a little bit easier for some of you to count up because you can see that this is 10. Okay, so we've got 10, 11, 12. So you can do that in all different ways. You could maybe put it into 12s and say, well, that's 12, add another 12, that's going to be 14, add another 12, that's 36, add another one, that's 48, or we could do 10, 20, 30, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48. Okay, so there's two different ways of doing it using concrete materials. Okay, I think perhaps we're going to wrap it up now because you've concentrated for quite a long time. You could give yourself a little bit of an extra challenge. Why don't you design a creature that has a funny number of legs? It can be any number you want. Think about a times table that you need lots of practice on. If you need practice with a 5 times table, design a creature that's got 5 legs. Or maybe you need a bit more help on the 4 times table or the 3 times table. I think you're all pretty good at the 2 times table. And you don't need to design a creature that's got 2 legs because you've got yourself, haven't you? Why don't you think of a creature you could use to help you work out some different multiplication problems? Use what you've got in the house or use paper and pen. Try doing it just using numbers. Try doing it using pictures. Try doing it using concrete materials. But as always, it doesn't matter about the answer. What matters is that you've got all different ways of working it out and that you pick the most sensible way of doing it. For example, if I was going to do that problem here and I used these and I set out 12 number ones, that wouldn't be a very good idea, would it? Why would that not be a very good idea? Think about it. It also wouldn't be a very good idea, even if I brought home enough of these, to put out 4 groups of 12. Why not? Have a think about it. Okay, so why don't you, as I've said, design a creature and then do a couple of different multiplication problems. See if you can challenge yourself. Returning back to the previous learning intention that we had, think about rhyming families as well. Think about some words that you heard in the book and think about words that rhyme with them. Think about different ways of spelling the endings of words as well. Now, it's a real shame that I can't see you boys and girls. I'm missing you an awful lot and I hope you're keeping safe. I hope you're having fun and I'm thinking of you and I'm really, really looking forward to a day where we can all be back together as normal in class. Sending you lots of love. You take care now. Bye-bye.